Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Breathe Motivation. My name's Anthony Hester. I'm the host for this show. So glad to join you guys this week. I greatly appreciate you guys letting me in your cars, your workplace, your home, sharing my ideas. My goal is to help you find purpose and passion in everything you do on a day-to-day basis, and that is why I'm here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you guys don't miss an episode. We do an episode once a week. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. So let's get started with our episode. The definition for today is passenger. That's a traveler on a public or private conveyance other than the driver, pilot, or crew. So, I like to get on here and share, my experiences, share the things that I've gone through personally and, some of the things that, come up throughout the weeks. And, one of the things that I noticed over the last several weeks and, kind of just smacked me in the face one day. And that's kind of how a lot of these episodes happen, or things just kind of hit me in the face and say, hey, this is a great thing to talk about. Because a lot of these things that I do talk about, it's funny because I kind of joke all the time with, family or friends or people who ask me, why do you do the podcast? And, for what reason? And I'm just like, I enjoy it. I like to share positivity because I think there can be more of that in the world because that's all we hear is negativity. But also my experiences tend to be a lot of other people's experiences, or, they go through the same things. And that's what is great about this, is that we can share our own perspectives to be able to help each other out. So I'm always learning. And that's the great thing about life, is we always have the opportunity to learn and get better. And I think a lot of us maybe don't take as much opportunity to learn or to be open to those ideas. And, this really kind of opened up my eyes to a lot of the things that go on, or my thought process sometimes, because a lot of the times, you go through kind of the same things over and over again. Obviously, people call that the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I thought it was interesting as I was having conversations with people, this came up a lot, and made me think, I'll give you some examples, right? So what do, your family, what do your friends, what do the government and, your boss, what do they all have in common? Right? What do they all have in common? And a lot of the times people would say, you know what? They're driving me crazy, right? Or they're making me mad, or, they're not giving me opportunities. And I thought it was interesting in that, because I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they're like, there's so many things going on, I feel that are outside of my control. And I was like, you know what? That's funny, because sometimes I feel like that same thing. But a lot of the times, guess what? We are in control of our lives and what's surrounding us. There are a lot of things that we can't control, but there are, great things that we can control. And the first thing that starts with your control is your mind. A lot of us, instead of becoming drivers of our lives, we start to take the passenger seat and really, allow other people or other people's thoughts and ideas control our world and run around and really, create what we want. Not what we want, but it creates the life that we're living, because we're so worried and so concerned and caught up in the thoughts, ideas, or feelings of other people. We give away our power to these other people to dictate what our life is. Instead of being the driver of our life, we are the passenger. And I catch myself in that same trap. It's a trap, right? That thought to go through life, really it it feels a little bit easier. It feels like, when people tell you that you're a certain way, or, they label you, or they, give you these thoughts. And, a lot of the times these ideas, you pass on some ideas to family and friends because you think it's safe, right? That's the first people we go to that we think is safe. And they turn down your idea and they tell you, hey, that's a bad idea because of this. We then become a passenger of their thoughts, and we don't really chase that goal or the dream that we were saying. We kind of put that on the back burner and say, oh, well, I guess it wasn't a good idea. So we gave away our power to somebody else to take away our goals and our dreams because, one, maybe we didn't have that vision for it, or maybe we really weren't into it, or two, we lost some confidence, or we lost some self-esteem to really chase after what we want. And I see this a lot. And me personally, that was one thing I was like looking at. I was like, I'm reading a book about self limiting beliefs. And a lot of the times, the belief I have is the talk track of what I grew up around or the people around me. So as we get older, we tend to comply more to, what society wants of us. And we always talk about that, right? Living in autopilot. But a lot of the times when I look at the things that I'm doing, I always some of the self-limiting beliefs that I have, I'm like, you know what, man, maybe I'm not as smart as some of these other people. I don't have a degree. I've gone to school. I have 67 college credits. Maybe that's just not good enough to run a business, right? And where does that come from? It comes from that belief that hey, I can't get it done, right? And that's one of those things where I'm like, no, you know what, I'm pretty smart. Why am I telling myself that I'm not smart enough to run a business? Right? We all have an opportunity to learn and grow and get better. Well, so what's stopping us from doing that? And a lot of the times it's outside influences, right? Outside thoughts, outside people, outside things. We give too much power to people instead of digging within ourselves and saying, you know what? Hey, I got this. I can do this. We start to look at the people around us. The closest people around us is who we really create our, kind of create our lives on, sometimes by accident, because you don't realize you're stuck in that trap of giving away your power, giving away to those self-limiting beliefs. Those self-limiting beliefs can be from influences outside of your circle or inside of your circle, your closest friends, your family, those people, you see those people and, a lot of times you grow up, admiring your parents and, or admiring, some friends or, great family, whoever, right? And you see that they, oh, hey, they couldn't do it, so I can't, I guess I can't do it. So you've got to be able to really get back and become the driver of your life. Because as you start to take out those influences, right? I hear all the time people like, oh, well, I can't start a business or I can't be lucrative in my business because I don't have money, and I used to think the same thing. And I was like, you know what? I don't have enough money to start this business. But in all reality, I did, right? I had some money to be able to start the business, and sometimes you don't need money to start that, right? So with this podcast, a lot of the times, that was one of the things that I was afraid of. Was I was like, oh man, it's $100 a year. I was like, oh well, I mean, that's money that I might not receive back. And at the end of the day, I was like, that's dumb, right? Whether I earn $1 from this or I earn $7 million from this or whatever that looks like, my goal is to share a message to help other people, to share my experiences, to be able to allow people to grow and get better and create that positivity, right? Help other people find purpose and passion in their life, because that's what we really are striving for, is to find that purpose and really drive that purpose. So I want you guys to know that you guys can really take back your power. It's so easy to give it away. And I think a lot of us give it away for free, right? We're giving away this power to, these people that, maybe don't believe in you. So, whether it's your family, your friends, whoever it is, these people don't believe in you, your boss, you've got to take take a look at it and say, hey, are these limiting beliefs, are they self or are they somebody else? Or am I allowing these people to give me, this feedback? And it really doesn't make any sense, right? You've got to be able to attack those self-limiting beliefs or those beliefs in other people, right? If somebody tells you you can't do something, I used to, and I still take it as a challenge of, what? Yeah, right. I can do that, right? I can get this done. And a lot of the times, instead of focusing on the things that I can't do, I've got to focus on the things I can do. And a lot of the times it comes back down to really believing in myself and being the driver of my goals, being the driver of my accomplishments, because nobody can control that except me. The only person in life that we can control is ourselves, right? I can't control what anybody tells me. I can't control what anybody feels about me. At the end of the day, I cannot give people the power to make me feel different about myself. I've got to feel that within myself, and you've got to feel that within yourself, and you've got to find that belief and find that success within yourself, because that's what's holding you back, or those beliefs from other people, those outside influences. You're chasing something outside to find internal happiness, and happiness really truly is within yourself. And that's really looking deep down inside. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of pain that I've felt from my past, or, even in the present. And I have to look at those things and say, you know what? Were those things I was in control of, or am I giving somebody too much power over me to be able to not live the best life I can? Am I using that as an excuse or a crutch not to really accomplish what I really want out of life? And sometimes I answer that and I'm like, I have to be, truly honest with myself and say, you know what? I've let, so many people hold me back, and it's all my fault. And I have to hold myself accountable and say, you know what, at the end of the day, that was my fault. I don't, why would I believe, somebody that tells me I can't do something, right? That's one of the biggest things. And that's where, I dug deep and said, you know what, I can do these things. So I don't need outside influences to push me. I need those inside influences, that self-awareness, that self-trust, that self-worth within myself to know that I am possible, it's possible to do anything that I want to. I just have to believe it, right? And you have to believe it. As you go into it and you really focus on what you need to do internally, that's all that matters. The external is just noise, right? That noise wants to affect you. That noise wants to bring you down. And sometimes, a lot of people don't do it on purpose, but sometimes you got to tell people to shut up, right? I don't need to hear your negativity. Or you kind of put up a shield, and that's one of those things like a negativity blocker. You get this big wall around you, a big bubble around you that's going to block out that negativity and not take that so personal. And a lot of the times that was something I really struggled with, 10 years ago, was really taking all that stuff personally, and taking on baggage of other people that really wasn't mine. And that was the biggest thing that I had to change was, I can't allow those things to affect me. I can feel empathy for people, and I can feel, for those people, but I can't take that on as my own. And you can't take that on as your own. You can't be a passenger of your own life. That's the autopilot. That's what happens. You find, yourself troubled. You find that anxiety. You find that, that troubled, that stress, because you're taking on things that are outside of your control. The only person you can control is yourself. And you've got to be able to believe that within your mind, that I'm in control of me. I'm in control of my thoughts. I'm in control of my actions. And those are the things that are going to lead me to success. That's either going to be my success or my downfall, but you all ultimately have a choice. And I have a choice to decide whether I want to be successful or I want to self-sabotage or, I want to be negative. And it's okay. Sometimes we're going to slip into that trap, but the quicker you find out the difference and you see, you start to see those limiting beliefs or, that confidence drop within yourself, you got to remind yourself, hey, you know what? It's okay. I can, I felt that for a moment, but I'm going to forget that and move forward and be positive in my life and, continue on my hunt for, happiness within, because nothing external is going to make you happy. And that was a hard reality to kind of understand. Sometimes we're chasing money, sometimes we're chasing that promotion, or sometimes we're, chasing that, your next significant other. And we're looking for that outside love or that outside happiness. And really internally, we've got to find that within ourselves. So the best way to do that is to be the driver of your goals, be the driver of your actions, and be the driver of your happiness, and be, look for the things that do make you happy, and stop giving control and power to other people, outside influences, the government, whoever, the man. People always say that, the man's really sticking to me. Maybe that's an old reference, but a lot of you guys probably will get that. But at the end of the day, stop giving away your power. You got the power within yourself to do anything and everything that you want to. Stop being a passenger, start being a driver, and you will find great success. You've got to find it. You've got to find it within. So let me leave you this quote. It all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you, if you allow it. And that's anonymous. So follow me on Instagram and Twitter on Breathe Motivate. Like my page on Facebook, Breathe Motivation. Check out my website, breathemotivation.com. And I will see you next week. And as always, remember to breathe motivation and exhale success. Thank you so much. And I'll see you later.